sometimes when people think about boarding schools, they think about dormitories and cold showers and lack of privacy and bullying and unpleasantness. But the reality at a school like Harrow is that Tom Brown's school days, is dead years ago.
I think coming to Harrow is a powerful experience because the boys are hit very much by the history and the traditions of the place.
It's fascinating to start with these chaps appearing as sort of little squeakers, age 13, and 5 years later there they are, 18 and a half, and hopefully ready for the world.
They do seem to come across as very confident Harrovians. There's a self-confidence that's there that I think we build on by trying to get them to be independent and to think for themselves, but also to be aware of the history that they're becoming part of.
We're also at the same time trying to produce boys that are aware of the world outside and are perhaps aware that they have a privileged position within it.
Founded 4 centuries ago as a charity school for the poor, Harrow has become one of Britain's most expensive schools. £16,800 each year for a boy's education. No fewer than 7 prime ministers have been taught here. While safeguarding its age-old traditions, the school has to survive in the modern marketplace of the 21st century. As the new school year approaches, 13-year-old James Robson is getting ready to start his new life at Harrow.
Hey, I'm going to jump in, so you better get out of the way.
James has never boarded before. In the next few days, he will leave his family behind to live with 60 other boys in a boarding house at Harrow-on-the-Hill. James is joining one of only 3 public schools which remain exclusively all boys and all boarding. But competition for boys is growing, and Harrow's market share is now in the hands of new headmaster Barnaby Lennon.
This is coming on, but won't be ready for about 2 weeks.
He spent £1.5 million on a modernisation scheme, but with just days to go before 800 boys descend on the school, the work is behind schedule.
Always like this at the beginning of every academic year, because all the substantial building work has to be done in the 8 weeks of the summer holiday. The projects always take 9 or 10 weeks, and so there's always a bit of muddling through in the first week.
Before the autumn term begins, the Robsons visit the school tailors. James will have a uniform befitting nearly 400 years of tradition.
Right, first we'll start with the Sunday wear, which consists of a white shirt, striped trousers, a black waistcoat, and tailcoat. So what I'd like you to do, James, is try on the shirt and the trousers, and when you come back out, we'll try on the other items of the uniform.
Okay.
Okay, change room's just around the corner there. Most boys have an account here for their day-to-day needs, so James can just pop in.
You look very grown up. How does it feel?
Okay, James, I've got the black tie for you to try on. Okay, the black tie you wear every day of the week, as well as Sunday. And do you know why you wear the black tie? No, because of Queen Victoria. When Queen Victoria died in 1901, the governors at the school decided that there'll be 100 years of mourning. So officially you're meant to wear the tie until the year 2001.
I think every mother wants, whatever school they send their child to give them an all-round social graces, an academic environment, but more than anything, that he will be really happy there, learn how to live with other people and respect other people.
Another tradition, I think it was George III, or George V, I can't remember offhand, but he was quite a large man and he can actually physically do the bottom button up. So again, out of tradition, the boys leave the bottom button undone.
Matron prepares the rooms for the 160 new boys for whom Harrow will be home for the next 5 years.
It's very good for new boys to share a room because then they get to know one other boy pretty well at an early stage. But one has to strike a balance between privacy on the one hand and wanting to encourage friendships amongst these boys, most of whom, of course, are coming from very different schools. And in these early days, our experience has been that this works extremely well. The aim is to get every room in Harrow like this one, as good as a 3-star hotel, put it that way.
Yep, that's right. There's a Harrow tailcoat here.
Right.
You sit like that. Have to do an alteration on the sleeve.
Definitely.
It's a bit long there.
Smart enough to get married in.
8 white shirts. 2 pullovers.
Leaving home will be hard, but because you'll be surrounded by everyone, it'll be good fun.
The older boys at Harrow are about to enter their final A-level year. Before terms start, 20 select senior boys have been sent on a course designed to get them ready for their new role as school prefects, known as monitors.
The idea is to try to get them to, in a sense, it's a bonding exercise because we hope that over the year they will cooperate with each other and work together effectively as, you know, as a team.
It doesn't matter which order you go, you just stand up and grab it, but you should, push off your thigh.
The role of monitors at Harrow is basically to keep control, I suppose, of the boys. People step out of line, you've got to put them back in.
This is the Harrow hat. Goes on your head like that. There's a strap that goes to the back of the head. Let's just pull it down. Okay, the hat was actually designed for posture, so when you're standing up straight with your shoulders back, it should tilt slightly forward. Okay? There's a thin coat of varnish already on the hat, but what most boys do is within the first week or so they'll actually buy some yacht varnish from the bookshop and just put it over the hat.
How do I look? Very, very smart indeed, and grown up. Dad?
Different.
I think they bring the monitors over here to form a better team, so we can work better together, and then we can trust each other to do our jobs at the school as well.
It's up to you. Don't do it if you don't feel comfortable. We stand up. Standing up with Alex holding on to you.
Get Cecil up first. When do the boys get to wear the top hats?
If James becomes a monitor when he's in the sixth form, he'll be allowed to wear the top hat on Sundays. Would you like to try it on? You need to be a bit older to wear that.
Slightly large. Yeah, the point is just to gain a bit more confidence in ourselves and each other. Trust ourselves as a group. Feel that you can rely on each other.
These days, parents don't send their children to boarding schools because they want to get rid of them. They send them to boarding schools for positive reasons, because those who can get the money together want their children to go for reasons which have got nothing to do with status or prestige and everything to do with education, learning and life opportunities. That's what the parents are paying for, that's what they expect, that's what I expect to provide.
Very, very expensive, but I'm sure it's worth every penny.
It comes to £1,756.70, please.
On top of the school uniform, there are the fees and the extras. Over 5 years, James's education will leave the Robsons little change from £100,000. The summer vacation has ended, and the new academic year is about to begin for Harrow School. One of the first to arrive back is this year's head boy, Patrick Massey.
As head boy, I get the same privileges as the other monitors. There are various people who say that I can get a goat and keep it somewhere if I want, or get married, or grow a beard, or have a car, and keep an elephant, I think, is one of them. But I don't think anyone's ever pushed the headmaster by doing any of this.
While they're at Harrow, the 800 boys will live in one of 11 boarding houses. Moving into Drury's house this term is new assistant housemaster Keith Metcalf. This is his first teaching post since leaving college.
It's quite nerve-wracking. You feel like you're coming back to school. You have a whole new lot of people you have to meet, teachers and youngsters. I'm looking forward to it. It's just these first few days when you're moving in and you just feel like you're a lost little schoolboy again. Most of the masters here at Harrow live on the hill so that they're involved fully in school life, so that they can be attached to a boarding house. Obviously living in Drury's I'm going to be very busy, but I look forward to that. I think it's a good chance to be involved in the school, in all that the boys are doing. I think that's a good extra challenge. For some of these boys it's the first time they've left home, left their parents, and I think that can be quite a worrying time, because how am I going to cope without mum and dad to look after me? How's little Johnny going to cope without mum and dad looking after him? I think it's quite hard for them.
I'm going to come back up in the...
It's the first day of the new school year. As parents deposit their sons back at Harrow, the local high street quickly becomes jammed with traffic as the boys move in.
I think parents have concerns about sending their children away, and some of them are almost indirect concerns as to what are other people going to say if I send my son away. Am I going to be seen as cruel or uncaring? It's a tough decision for some parents, but I would say to them, come and visit the boarding schools. Come and see how the boys get on, see how happy they are when they're here, see what sort of people are turned out at the end, and say, is that the sort of person you'd like your son or daughter to develop into?
David Ellery is housemaster of Drury's. He's on hand to greet James Robson as he arrives with his parents.
I know that while he's there, that is his family. And I think it's sort of mum realising that he's going to have another family. And whilst I'm really happy about that, because I know it's a family that's going to be better for him in the next 5 years, David Ellery is far more qualified to deal with puberty and teenage problems than I am. He's had hundreds of boys pass through, and he will be better to deal with it than myself.
Yeah, if you unload and come through this way.
But he's still mine, my son, my first son, and I do slightly feel I'm going to have to share him a bit, and I am feeling a little bit not sure about that side.
As each new boy arrives, he is assigned 2 older boys to help him find his way over the first crucial days.
James, how are you doing? Alexis, how are you doing? So this is your room, then you're sharing with John, as you know. So basically the plan is we just sort your room out, and then we've got about 45 minutes to half an hour, and we'll go back downstairs to Mr. Ellery and have some drinks. So,
while James and his new roommate John Lee settle in, Keith Metcalf and the other new masters have been summoned to the headmaster's office.
Good, sit anywhere you like. What are you going to do with spelling mistakes in geography essays?
it depends on the pupil. If it's just an occasional mistake, you might make a note of it in their work and give them the correct spelling.
Yeah.
If it's a...
Do you really think that would achieve anything? I'm not convinced that a Harrovian, faced with a simple correction in the margin, will necessarily learn the work. I have a sort of suspicion that you, the teacher, are doing all the work there, and you're not really requiring enough from them.
That's it for doing this.
For those who've not boarded before, and half of my new take have not boarded before, there's also the excitement but concern about how will they cope being away from home, what will it be like, and in the first few days that they're here, we keep them very, very busy. So there's not too much time to sit around being homesick.
Hi, all right, how are we getting on? Have you tried everything on? Does it fit?
Right, both left.
Tomorrow, when you're going to come and put all your posters up, you can put drawing pins on there and there.
How are you doing with everything? All right? Now, are you both tidy? Is this going to be... Are you generally tidy?
Yeah, mostly.
Or is this going to be one of Matron's horror rooms?
Oh, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't be. No, all right. Okay. You can tell a lot by people about how tidily they keep their rooms or not.
Being a teacher is quite a lonely job. You know, most people work in an office with lots of other people. You're going to be on your own most of the time. But never mind. You'll find that you'll have plenty of support from within your department. Thanks, everyone. Good luck. Cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could just interrupt for a moment. We're starting out on a great adventure, a 5-year adventure, which the boys will enjoy hugely and that I hope the parents will enjoy equally. Now, I would appeal to parents not to be upset or disappointed if you discover that your son has settled in and is very happy and is enjoying himself. This can happen. He may well still miss you. He may miss the dog more than he misses you, but he will miss you, but he may well be happy. If he's unhappy, there are lots of people that he can talk to. But if you think your son is not settling well, then please phone me or Matron or Keith Metcalf at the earliest opportunity, and we can double check. I hope that the boys will have a fantastically successful and enjoyable 5 years in Drury's. I have absolutely no doubt they will. We shall demand very great things of them.
Right, Daddy will sort out the laptop for you.
Right.
And we'll get something sent down. We'll probably come on Sunday.
Okay.
And see how things go and watch the matches and things, alright?
You know the address?
You're in house matches every
Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
We'll try and get back down on Sunday.
Yeah.
Get the call by the end of the week if we can.
Okay.
And keep this keys cleaned. Remember what Charles Blanchard said.
Okay.
Right, come on then.
Okay. It's her. I'll have a look.
Okay. Bye-bye, darling.
Bye.
Alright, see you later, fella. Alright. Send me an email as soon as you get onto the internet, yeah?
When I get the laptop.
Laptop, yeah. I'll try and sort that out during the next couple of days.
Right.
Okay.
You okay?
Take care.
Okay.
Alright,
Bye.
see you, mate.
Bye.
Johnston, Lee, Mello, Morris, Corrigan, Rich, Robson, Shaw, Stevens, Walker, Wilson. Okay, boys, welcome back. I hope you had a great summer, and let's make this year a good one, okay? And work hard, play hard. Okay.
Harrow, one of Britain's most famous and most expensive schools, opens its gates to 800 boys for the first day of the new school year.
It's so traditional, and it's very, very old, and it's very big and very scary to start off with.
In an ever-changing world, the school holds on to values and traditions established over 400 years.
The school obviously has a number of traditions and customs which really serve to give the school its particular character or flavour. They, taken together, would be one of those things which makes the school distinctive.
I think the stereotypical view of Harrow is basically like people running around like sticks and top hats and going like very posh accents and going, "Oh, Harrow, jolly good to see you. Oh, John, yeah, it's very nice." And it's really not like that at all.
Please sit down. Well, I hope everyone's had a very enjoyable summer holiday, and we especially
welcome this morning the 180 new pupils to the school. Whether your interests or talents lie in art or music or drama or sport or one of the 100 or so other activities on offer, it's part of my expectation that you will try out a variety of these activities in the coming weeks, and in so doing discover, I hope, abilities and interests that you may never even have known you had.
Although Harrow is full, boarding has declined elsewhere by 1/3 in the last 15 years. Now fewer than 1% of the nation's children board. Many of Harrow's new boys are leaving their families for the first time. On his very first day, each boy must audition for a place in the school choir.
I'm Mr. Walker, I'm the Director of Music here, and this is our occasion to meet every new boy in the school. The idea is just to sort of see where your voice has got to, see what instrument you play, make sure everything's right, and send you away happy. It certainly is the case that some boys try not to do it well, but we do our homework in advance and we know who we're looking for. So we're up to some of the tricks.
Even if they're not good enough for the choir, there's no escape. It's a Harrow tradition that every new boy must sing a solo in front of the rest of his boarding house.
Go up here, please, ah. Yes, I think singing isn't going to be your big thing in life. It'll be an interesting solo when you sing Metaphorics in the house, won't it? I'll look forward to being there. Okay, thank you very much. His voice is breaking and he can't really control it at the moment. So whatever happens in the future, at the moment, he couldn't sing in a choir at all.
Like the new boys, 25-year-old Keith Metcalf has just started at Harrow. One of his first jobs is to take his tutor group to the classroom to give them their timetables. Keith is also an assistant housemaster at Drury's, one of the 11 boarding houses.
So this is Churchill Schools, where all the geography department is downstairs. Obviously you can see there's
The house system at Harrow is at the sort of root of most things. The house is important to the boy. It's where he lives and where he does much of his work, and it's where, of course, he will find most of his, or a great number of his friends. Certainly, when he's first here, will be based on his house, and it is, in a sense, a sort of school community within the larger school.
Now, what we're going to be doing today is going through the role, my role as your tutor, and your role as my tutee. Then we're going to go through the timetable. You're just going to get your own separate timetable because you're not all in the same forms. We'll make sure you're happy with what forms you're in. Thursday is Latin, History and Divinity. Friday, Latin and Chemistry. And Saturday, English and Technology.
I think that our role goes way beyond the actual form room, because we are a boarding community. We're here 24 hours of the day during term time, weekends as well, and so one's in constant sort of touch with the boys. And in that sort of way, it's like an enormous great family.
Watching the new boys in their first 24 hours, we build very much on their house identity, because they've come away from home. They're insecure and they want to find security in a small group. So to come to a school like Harrow with almost 800, that's big and vast. So the house and the year group within the house is a smaller unit they can adapt to.
Michael, were you in the first or the second? Rugby.
I was in the first 2 years ago.
During term time, you are the most influential adult in their lives. And that is an awesome responsibility. So you are surrogate parent, and you've therefore got to build up a strong relationship with each boy as an individual.
Seem to be some very talented boys. It's very encouraging.
There's probably not a boy there who isn't a sportsman or not interested in playing, which also helps. And that will also help them settle in, because they'll all want to play sport together as a group, and that's quite important in the early days. I mean, they look as if we'll win quite a lot of house competitions this year and in future years, I think, on the basis of watching them for 15 minutes, which is why they're in Drury's, of course.
Run straight, now run straight. Try it.
Being from a nice cosy little family and coming to a place where I'm one of 63, it was quite amazing shock. I don't want to say no one really cares, because he cares about everyone, but I mean quite impersonal.
Yeah, can you? It's quite a heavy chat, so you turn it on its side. Okay, then who knows where Custos' office is?
David Ellery introduces the new boys to another long-standing Harrow tradition.
Some names in gold, because when you become head of house, you're...
Since the early 19th century, each house has recorded the name of every boy on its boards.
Put the board there. Okay. You can tell a great deal about a boy by the state of his room, what his interests are by what's on the walls, how tidy his room is. It tells a lot about the character. But we accept that it's their home, and we want them to make them feel as comfortable as possible. Oh, how's it going?
Good.
First rule when an adult walks in the room? Stand up, sign a mode. Okay. We're not planning on putting all these women on the walls, are we?
No, the walls are solid.
Right. What were the rules?
I thought it's blue tack's not allowed on.
No, and certainly not drawing prints.
Wasn't it?
Even worse than blue tack.
Alright.
So what you really need to do is to get a drape and to be able to stick those on and then hang them up. But I think we're going to have to decide how many women and in what state of clothing. Right. So you're fairly patriotic. And is this all you've got at the moment in terms of posters?
Yeah. I left them back at home.
This one. What? And what was it? What sort of poster? There's another woman, was it? Yeah. Does Mum allow you to have all these up at home?
Well, she brought one up.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I went in Kingston about 10 o'clock.
Right.
Got two.
Okay, well I think put one or two more up. You can always blue tack one or two onto there.
Yeah.
So you can lie in bed and look at them. So you've got something nice to look at when you wake up in the morning. Now, John, I have some rather good news for you. You're in the Plain Song Choir. You and Freddie. What do you mean, oh no? It's extremely good news. So you've got your first rehearsal tomorrow morning. All right?
Yes, sir.
Good. You don't look delighted by the news.
No, really.
Because I think your voice is quite good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll see you later on then.
No, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
No problem. I'll be watching out.
In my prep school, I was like the worst thing in the school. Can't believe I got in.
I think Mr. Ellery was just trying to make conversation, because I've seen some worse ones downstairs.
I growl and moan and groan and tell boys off more than punishing. But I do believe that in a disciplinary sense, as a housemaster, you need firm guidelines for the boys to deal with, cope with, which gives them a security as they grow up, particularly through adolescence. But you've got to know when to turn a blind eye and what is important and what isn't important.
Harrow school grounds are spread over 400 acres. New boys are given 2 weeks' grace to find their way around. After that, they'll be disciplined if they're late for lessons.
Hey, excuse me. Do you know where the English clock 5 is?
Yeah, okay, the quickest way is around that corner, down the road until you get to the turning off to the left. It's just in front of Elfield, you know that? And then across that road, in front of Elfield, turn left again, and it's just up. And there's a sign saying cops and GT schools.
Is it quite near where the geography is?
Yeah, it's just opposite geography. Okay?
Okay. Thanks a lot.
The new boys with the best voices have been selected for the treble section of the choir and must now attend their first lunchtime rehearsal.
Okay, that's far enough. Now, I see some people starting to look a bit uncomfortable. Not everyone will be able to get that high. Don't worry if you can't. Very well done. There are one or two gentlemen at the back here who are standing behind other people, which is not a situation that I'm particularly happy with. And I'd like you standing somewhere where you're not standing behind somebody else. Because you strike me as the sort of person that's going to grin at the back and not do what he's supposed to.
Hey. Oh, I got this.
Responsible for the carving of names is Ralph Thompson, known to the school as Custos.
Robson. And you're happy with that?
That's great.
I'm so pleased that you are.
Not many people see their own name called.
No, they don't. This is there for history, so you're now an Harrowian, so that'll be there, and nobody can change that.
Yeah.
And then you can look back in history and say, there I am, Carl. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Really? Sorry, very good.
It's pretty good.
Brilliant.
I'm so happy that you're happy. If they try and tuck it in, you know. But there you are, you can say you've seen your name card.
Now, normally things will be a little more relaxed than this, but this afternoon we have to learn a short piece of music ready for the Sunday morning service. Don't talk, please, while I'm talking. And it sounds like this. Rejoice in my Lord always, and again I say rejoice.
Lots of families of their names been carved, and some for generations.
Yeah, like mine. My family have always come here. There was me and my two brothers, and before them was my dad and his brothers, and there was my granddad and my great-granddad.
And you're the first.
The first stepson.
Lovely.
Maybe your great-great-great-great-grandchild can say the same thing.
Yeah, you never know, do you?
No.
And there you are.
If you looked at the house boards, you'll see the same names repeating themselves. And so there are some families where in a space of, about 150 years, there have been over 60 members of the same family. So you can't get a greater sense of continuity than that.
I think that it puts quite a lot of pressure on me because all my family have been here, and if I don't really do much good here, then I might let my family down.
In 1615, Harrow School consisted of just one room. It's still preserved today and known as the fourth form room.
This is where carving started. And somewhere in this room is your great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, somewhere here.
Oh.
I think we should try and find him, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. See what you can find. And what other ones you can find.
Yeah.
Because in here is Little Byron, Sheridan, Trollope, Churchill. Yeah, Churchill's in there, yes. Yeah. 7 Prime Ministers of England in here.
Isn't it the boys who carve below?
Yes, the boys used to carve all their names below with the help of the local carpenter. It started in 1620, actually, the first boy carved his name with a penknife. And then it went from there. So let's have a look and see if we can find your great-great-grandfather.
Okay.
What? He was a ship owner, and there he is as a bone. That's it. Oh God, yeah.
I didn't even know he existed.
Ah, well there you are. And actually, he's up there.
Good. 1 or 2 people shouting, 1 or 2 people singing in the wrong octave, but basically a very good sound, much better than I'd thought. Obviously not all of them want to be here. Some clearly really don't want to be here, and if they continue really not wanting to be here for much longer, then I might let them drop out, but I might make them stay, depending on how nasty I'm feeling.
This is the famous bird. And what you had to do, you had to bend over here. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You bent over here, put your hand here, and you were birched at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Hello, Earth calling you boys. Go in, sit down.
Every day, Drury's new boys meet with housemaster David Ellery. Inter-house rivalry is strong, and it will soon be the first opportunity for the Drury's new boys to win honours for their house.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've lost half of you already. James. Hello. So who's got lost today? Physics, was it? Oh, you stopped at chemistry.
I went to economics.
You went to economics, yeah, well that's quite good for A-level. So on Sunday at 2:30 we are going to be playing Westacre. That's the first soccer match.
James Robson's parents have come to cheer him on as he wears his house colours for the first time.
Yeah, it's lovely to see him, it really is. When I saw him, I couldn't stop kissing him, which was great. And he didn't sort of fight me off, so it was nice.
We find how well a boy settles in or not almost reflects his character more than whether he's boarded before or not. Some love it. And James may find that he loves boarding because suddenly he's got a whole range of instant brothers who he can go and play football with, throw a rugby ball around, sit and chat with. And so he's moving from an environment where he's got younger brothers and sisters, and he's suddenly got boys of the same age around all the time.
Well done, alright?
That's good for the team.
Yeah.
Good for the future.
Yeah. Pass the ball around nicely. Some good goals. Did you score?
Yes,
No. Actually, might, I regret to say, be a defender. So, I'll leave you with Mum, Dad and family, and we'll see you at 4:45 key, but at the private side, yeah. Alright? Okay, see you later. Bye.
Drink.
Actually, Charlie has some Ribena. If you've got any Ribena left.
It's when they've been here and then they go, you realise how much you miss them. After they'd gone, I felt like more homesick than I had in the whole week.
It's the end of the week and the first Sunday service of the new term. The school is dressed up for the occasion.
So, as we embark on another school year together, a new commitment, indeed a commandment, to listen to each other in all our rich diversity would be a worthy intention.
For the new intake, the coming weeks will be critical if they are to settle into the Harrow way of life. It's just gone 7 on Monday morning and the start of a new school week for the 800 boys who live at Harrow.
Beginning of a day at a boarding school is like cranking a rusty old machine up, I think. It's wonderful, you know it's going to happen, and you're not quite sure on which turn of the wheel it's going to start.
All the youngest boys take it in turn to wake the rest of the house.
There are a few always good boys who are out of bed and at it already, but the average boy, of course, isn't very keen on getting up.
Morning, Sunsucky. Morning, Sunsucky.
For the 73 boys living in Morton's house, Monday is also laundry morning. First chore today is handing over their dirty washing to matron.
Have you got your duvet cover this week? Remember, if you have, mark yourself D for duvet. Pillowcases as well.
In each of the 11 boarding houses, it's the matron's job to take care of the boys' domestic side of life.
So I've got to be mum, and I think really that's true for all for matrons, to try to be mum as well as organiser. And I try to keep them clean, of course.
It's a big challenge for a 13-year-old boy to arrive in a boarding school and cope with all the routine and the things that he has to understand. And it's a huge tribute to them that So they nearly all manage very, very well. Nevertheless, there are a few who find it really pretty difficult. And it's that our challenge, I think, is to train them to get it better without it becoming too big an issue and getting in the way of their happiness or their academic success.
Everything's fine except for the sock bag, because the sock bag, by the time they've all finished putting in, smells like very ripe gorgonzola.
10 to 8, and Housemaster Simon Berry's first chance to meet the boys. This daily ritual in each house ensures that all are present and correct.
Harmsworth, Lampitt, Mason, Morgan, Roberts, McGowan, Melvin, Slater, West, Bacon, Bismarck.
With strong military traditions, most boys join the school cadet corps. Between roll call and breakfast is sometimes the only opportunity to practice their drill.
By the front. Quick, Bart. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Left, right, left, right, left.
Licking the new recruits into shape is the task of former Welsh Guardsman John Davis.
Left, right, left, right, left.
It might look as if it's a punishment getting up before breakfast to do drill, but a lot of them enjoy it, and it's better than lying in bed and messing about, isn't it?
Harrow's matrons are influential figures who monitor the boys' welfare. They play a motherly role in helping newcomers feel at home amid the rules and regulations of living together.
A lot of boys find the discipline and the rules over the top. And yes, they do come and talk to me, and we do tend to sit down and talk about it, discuss it, and hopefully try and take them through it. But there has to be rules, because otherwise you would just have a very unruly house.
For the new boys, known as shells, the first weeks are critical. As well as learning a new set of rules, they must try to make friends early on if they are to settle and establish themselves in boarding school life.
When you first arrive at the school, you have a very short time in which to get your status. Which group you gravitate towards in the first term really is important, and I gravitated towards nice, quiet people. Whereas I should have, if I wanted to be incredibly popular, I should have gravitated towards the kind of incredibly cool jet set.
Okay, read through quickly. Can we concentrate, please? It goes like this. Watson, you're meant to be watching and reading. Here we go. Multicellular organisms, including all plants and animals, can usually be thought of as organized on 4 increasingly complex levels, a sort of hierarchy of organization. Everyone appreciates what a hierarchy is. The school is basically a hierarchy of power. There are people like you, who at the moment are right down at the bottom, so you have very little power at the moment, but by the time you leave the school you'll have quite a lot more. Basically, as you get towards the top of that hierarchy, there is more and more power in the hands of the individuals concerned.
Generations of fathers and sons have followed each other to Harrow. Peter Stevens' family have been coming here for 150 years, but for Peter himself it's a first taste of boarding school life. 17-year-old Ben Irwin Clark has been at boarding school for more than half his life.
I've been boarding since I was 8, and obviously it comes as quite a shock to the system when you first start, but I don't hold it against my parents.
I think whenever you go away from home, it's tough, but we need to remember that adolescence is a passage from being a dependent child to being an independent adult, and going away from home perhaps hastens that process.
While the boys are having lessons, matron Maureen Bone is carrying out her daily inspection of their rooms.
Hasn't had time to make his bed yet. There are some rooms that you walk into, it looks like a bomb site. So matron leaves little notices. and they soon tidy up, believe you me. Cardboard boxes are not allowed in rooms. They attract the dust. I shall leave him a little note. It isn't a hotel, and they don't come expecting that it's going to be a hotel. They've had pre-warning. And some of the smells in the house are pretty bad. Bums and bosoms. No full frontals, I don't allow those. It's alright. No, I don't like that one.
Even in their rooms, the boys' privacy is limited. There are no locks on the door to deter matron's attention.
They can have a little note from matron. They've got to realise that I am here to help them and that I'm not a dragon. There's quite a conception, particularly among people who've read books about boarding schools and matrons, that matron's going to be a dragon.
Teenagers are difficult. I mean, I don't have to deal with their laundry, but you could argue the problems I have to deal with are even worse because you can't put them in the washing machine, which at least she can. She can tidy their room for them. She can pick up their laundry, and she can force pills down their throats, more or less. But teenage kids are difficult, which is, of course, one reason that parents send them to us, I think.
In Drury's house, matron is having one of her motherly chats with her new boys.
It's important that you do regularly shower, always after games, at least once a day. Wash your hair at least a couple of times a week. Change your clothes regularly. It's very important to clean your teeth after breakfast and before you go to bed. If you've got a problem, I am very approachable, and anything really personal, you come in to my flat, the door gets closed, and what we talk about is just between you and I, whether it's homesickness or anything. If you just fancy a chat, you can come in and say, can I put the kettle on and make me a cup of tea? Alright?
Harrow maintains that boarding education is about learning how to use your time. Leisure activities are considered almost as important as lessons.
All the boys have been saying that you've got to do as much as you can at the school and just do as many of the activities you possibly can. Because then, if you find something and you'll be good at it. I mean, there's one thing that everyone's good at. And if you're going to find it, and this is what the school's for.
I think what we have to do is to make sure that a boy who isn't yet fully settled doesn't allow that to become a preoccupation. That we make sure that he involves himself with lots of activities, he involves himself with other people in the year group, he opens lines of communication, he gets to know people, allows people to get to know him, and remains part of the team. For some it takes a while.
A favourite playground activity is called bum, B-U-M. It's scary and painful, but even the victims enjoy the forfeits involved in this traditional Harrovian ball game. To keep up with the latest Harrow fashion, once a week the mobile barber shop comes to the Hill.
This haircut with the crest is the most commonest. I mean, quite a lot of people at the school have the high crest, don't they, Carl? Yeah. With it sort of flying in the air. I mean, if you walk down the street and look at the Herodians, they've all got their hair. So I change. I like my hair. Love it.
Do you want to spray them?
Yeah.
Okay, chaps. 5:49, 11 minutes, let's go. Okay. Good luck.
This afternoon is the inter-house cross-country competition. All the boys are expected to take part and will run 3.5 miles across the fields, unless they're lucky enough to have a sick note from matron.
How is it today?
It's actually feeling a lot better now.
Good. Have you? Sit down, Jane.
How long have you had it?
It came in like my friend in just after break. I was like quite hot. I went outside for a bit and that's still here.
Have you got a temperature, do you think?
No, I don't. Yeah, I might just check it, but I don't think I have.
It's ideal cross-country weather. Cold, wet, muddy.
Straight down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Okay, come back at supper time.
Okay.
If you've still got that. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
It's all confidence. That's what a boy needs. So you can then build on his talents, however small. And you can, of course, arrange a bit for some people to come in and build those talents and tell him how good he is at something, and even if it's slightly artificial, just to give a base that we can then build on.
D12. I mean, if they're going to come out, boys like to compete. They have a competitive instinct, and it's surprising how well even the not so great runners can do if they feel they're part of a team.
It's knackering. It's especially on days like this. It's just complete fag. We just want to be inside watching TV. It's cold. It's long. It's slippery. Don't like long distance.
Harrow's definitely made me more resilient to things. You develop a shell, a bit of a kind of a harder skin, a bit of a thicker skin really. If I'd been at home, then I might have not been able to put up with some of the things that it's necessary to put up with at school. And I'm not talking about the way the school treats you, but the way the other people in the school might treat you, whatever. Because not everyone here is as sensitive and loving and lovely as my family is.
When I first came, I had to learn how to take a joke. It was one of my first things. And if anybody called me a name or said something to me, I used to lash out. So learning how to take a joke was a big thing. And I think I did it quite well, because now if anybody calls me a name, I'll just laugh at them.
Is Chinadu there?
After supper, any boys with disciplinary problems must see their housemaster with their daily report.
Communication lesson must speak. Tuesday talks too much. So biology you don't talk enough, and maths you talk too much.
I don't think I talk too much. It's just he thinks every time he looks around I'm talking, but I don't really talk that much.
Good.
So can I have that permission to go downtown tomorrow?
For what?
Well, my mum's put a check in the post, sir.
Has she?
Yes, sir. What's she
Very
said?
nice,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, well, you'll need to get a chit
Okay.
if it comes, yeah. Okay. Alright. Good.
Thanks, sir.
Could you see if Chinadu's around and kick him in my direction with his daily report?
Yes, sir.
David Ellery has suddenly been called away. There's been an accident on the high street with one of the new boys and a cyclist. Injuries are slight, but the cyclist needs a hospital checkup.
I think what's happened here tonight just demonstrates how all the housemasters one moment can be dealing with something very minor. I was dealing with the boys' mathematics not being very good, and then the phone call comes and you're then involved in something at the other end, and it can be serious, it can be not too serious as in this case, but I think it just demonstrates how when you're in a boarding school you are involved in every aspect of the boys' lives 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you have to be prepared to deal with anything from the small to the major.
The boys do prep or homework in their rooms between 7:30 and 9 in the evening. Afterwards they can relax before the new boys go to bed at 9:45 and the seniors by 11 o'clock.
I think people are mistaken if they think that because boys have come away to Harrow, they've lost the family. They're not emotionally cut off. The idea they have no support, no substitute family is actually a major misconception. And often boys will make friends at boarding school who become lifelong friends. we know very well that very often we sometimes share our deepest thoughts, our closest thoughts, not with our parents, but with our friends.
I think that it boosts your character and it makes you a better person, I think. But some people were born to board, some people shouldn't board. So I hope that no one ever gets the wrong way round.
I like the way that the system changes you in most cases. Some people come out of public school a bit messed up. But yeah, I like what school's done for me, and I'd like the same to happen to any son of mine.
But being a boys' school, you get boys will be boys. And boys with their toys, I suppose. Everybody's just on for a really good laugh, mucking around, playing games down. We can just go absolutely wild to a certain extent, and you don't get to do that out of a boarding school.
One of the last to bed is head of house, Charlie, whose job it is to make sure all the boys are tucked up.
Since we live together, we get to work and play together, which is fantastic.
Harrow is a school for boys, and only boys.
Up, 2, 3, down, 2, 3.
A very high proportion of the parents who come through my door here looking for a place at Harrow are interested in single-sex education for their teenage sons. In those critical years, they think there's some sense in a single-sex school.
The boys practicing their cadet corps drill attend one of only 3 all-boys boarding schools in the country.
Too fast, everybody's too fast. Listen to the timing, okay? I would much rather go to an all-boys school, because if girls were here, I think that would seriously affect my work.
The younger ones would say, no way, oh it sucks, we definitely must have girls, yeah, that'd be so cool, imagine there'd be girls' houses we could break into, it'd be so cool. But I think anyone who kind of is looking at it sensibly would actually acknowledge that it works as it is.
The school places a strong emphasis on sport. Games are played 5 days a week after lessons. This afternoon, the school's first 15 are preparing for their next rugby game.
Like it, yeah, right here, most boys in my year, I don't think, have a regular girlfriend, because it is quite difficult sort of to see them.
I think that most parents believe that it's a very good balance, that they have a full social life, but for a number of days in the year, they're here to work and to learn, and not actually to socialise with girls.
Harrow is prepared to teach its boys an artistic appreciation of the female form, even if it is at a distance. At weekends, girlfriends are permitted to visit the school to watch the boys' sporting prowess, but maintaining a relationship is difficult. There is little time to be had before the boys have to be back in their boarding houses.
It's one of those kind of in-jokes about public school, or single-sex public schools. The 800 testosterone-fueled boys all trapped in one relatively small place, for a long time, is difficult for every member of the school, and everyone feels it.
Harrow has made changes. There are now 5 women amongst the 90 full-time staff who teach the boys.
I think they are in a very rarefied sort of position. I mean, they're not living in a natural community. I mean, it's a whole colony of men living together. And I think in a way it's an unnatural environment.
On Wednesday afternoons, boys parade in the Combined Cadet Force, also known as the Harrow Rifle Corps.
Get on!
For the new recruits, this is their first experience of drill. Established in 1859, the Corps is still a central feature of school life. The boys are instructed in traditional military skills, such as drill, weaponry, and leadership.
It doesn't suit everyone, obviously. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But in some cases, and I speak from experience, it's the making of some people.
Barry, the band should be the same height all the way round. The cap badge should be an inch above the eye, right? The left.
Boys can join the Corps in their second year. Although it's not compulsory, pressure to enlist is strong. This term, the majority of the year joined up. For those less inclined to join the Corps, there are alternative Wednesday afternoon activities. Community service is run by modern languages teacher Loretta Mosley.
I mean, I think pretty much it is for the boys who are physically or not spiritually capable of going out and drilling around the yard or going off on night exercise. And there are some boys who are just not, designed to do that sort of thing. And they would be much better off in the community, going out helping people. And they're sort of a quieter, gentler type. By many, community service has been seen as a soft option within school. But actually, once the boys come out and do it, I mean, they really do prove themselves, and they are doing something valuable for themselves and I think for the school.
Today, Oscar and JJ are visiting 84-year-old Lily Waith, who lives on her own.
Hello. Come in. They're exceptionally nice boys. They hoover, clean down the stairs, wash up. They're a great help. They'll do anything that I ask them. Nothing's too much trouble.
Another alternative to the Corps is conservation, where the boys can help with the upkeep of Harrow's school estate and learn about the environment.
Now, this is the area where we've got about 20 oaks. Can you just hang on there a tick, okay? This is the area we've got about 20 oaks. These are the oaks that we want dug up and removed and put into Grove Wood. Just to remind you, this whole area here is a butterfly and moth site. Some people might say that boys only do conservation because they don't want to do the Corps. That may be true for some boys, but what I've been increasingly encouraged by, actually, is the growing awareness that there is something to be learnt from all this. Look at that taproot. Oh, we've bashed it a bit there, but that's enormous.
Well, the people who do Corps seem to not care at all about the conservation. They're much more into sort of wearing their army uniform in supper and looking hard. And conservation is actually worthwhile doing, and Corps, I really don't think it is. It's only play, it's not even the real army.
5.56mm in calibre. That means it fires a 5.56mm bullet. Now it's exactly the same as the weapon.
New Corps recruits are given basic weaponry training.
It's very accurate, alright, although it fires single shot. Pull.
Senior boys practice their shooting and hone their military skills.
So, Marine section ready for inspection.
Carry on.
In open order, march! Eyes front!
Those joining the Corps don't necessarily expect to enjoy it.
You always get the old ones telling everybody don't join the Marines or don't join the Army. Because, all you're going to do is just run, do push-ups and sit-ups, which is, which does happen occasionally time to time.
But not joining is thought of as taking the comfortable option.
They'd rather be munching Mars bars in a nice hot room with a cup of coffee and the telly, talking to somebody, an old person for an hour and keeping them company rather than being in the cold.
There you go. Thank you very much. How many biscuits would you like, Mrs. Wade?
I chose community service because I didn't see much point of marching around all the time, and I just prefer it. I like to help out and help people who need help.
It's really important to have them here because my family have grown up and moved on and away, and the boys are the only young people that I see.
Do your drill correctly, and let's no laughing and joking and smiling and talking and swearing.
Quick, march! Left, right, 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 left, right.
Down in the woods, the conservationists are clearing the ground for their tree planting.
Boys who do CCF, they kind of think we're all sort of like wusses up here, that we don't actually do any work, which you can obviously see is completely wrong, and I think they're all just a bit silly. I mean, why on earth would you want to do that?
When I ask my friends why they do it, they say that fun and enforces discipline, but I don't think you need CCF to give you discipline, and this basically, because I like plants and things and nature, I decided to do conservation.
As these boys plant oaks for the benefit of future Harrovians, their opposite numbers in the Corps face their toughest weekend of the term away from the school.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, that's correct. What about its basics then? What is physical geography? You've been doing physical geography ever since you arrived here at Harrow. But do you really know what physical geography is? Have a couple of seconds.
25-year-old teacher Keith Metcalf is settling into his first term at school. But he has yet to undergo an intimidating rite of passage before becoming a fully fledged Harrow master.
The line.
The boys of the Harrow Rifle Corps are also going through a very different rite of passage. They're on manoeuvres at the Army Training Zone in Sandhurst. It's as near as they'll get to battle conditions.
Just over 3 weeks now since term started, since I taught my first lesson, and I'm beginning to feel like I'm part of it here. I feel like I know what's going on, I'm up to speed, I feel like I'm beginning to belong.
Many Harrow rituals are now second nature to Keith. In a tradition called capping, masters and boys acknowledge each other when passing in the street.
Oh, then put it back together again.
Many of the new recruits are experiencing the art of survival for the first time. They'll be expected to build their own shelters for the night.
All I want you to do is make sure you tie it up, alright, lift it up in the centre, and that will prevent, alright, any water falling on it, otherwise you'll get wet.
This is of course, for certainly the younger ones, and it's a bit of an adventure really. You will find that there are some of the boys here who've probably never spent a night out in the open in their lives.
Yeah, it's quite comfortable now actually. It might be a bit cold at night. Yeah, that's true. But as long as it doesn't rain, we'll be fine. Well, as long as it rains in the right direction, so that way. Get wet. What do you mean pillow?
I mean, the situation that we put a lot of these boys in will be totally alien to them in some respects, and I think that's that in itself is a very positive experience for them. No one else is actually going to look after them, they've got to look after themselves.
There's no housemaster sort of mollycoddling them or matron to pick up the pieces. They're out here 24 hours and they do actually look after themselves.
Oh no! Right, guys, right, get in there!
Back at Harrow, Keith Metcalf is grappling with an unfamiliar task. Like all Harrow newcomers, he has to perform a solo song in front of the 60 boys in his house. But first, he must learn the words.
We all have to do the same, the first 4 lines of the Men of Harlech, and I've just been given the book, so I've got a week to go, and I've got it to learn, and well, I think I should be able to do it in the time, or learn it at least, but I don't know the tune.
You actually rub it in, get rubbing, alright, spit, good lad, rub it in, alright, and we get it underneath the nose, in the nostrils and everything like that.
In the field, all matrons' lessons about hygiene are abandoned as boys camouflage themselves to fool the enemy and each other.
You sharp! Yeah, come on, eyelids, that's enough. You look like a fool.
With his solo approaching, Keith has enlisted some support. His girlfriend Claire has come to help him rehearse.
The higher one. Oh. Give me the lower one then. No, I can't. Go again, from the start. You're going to have to make the higher Okay, one. I have to go. Go a bit faster, I can't keep there. Hark, I hear the bow advancing.
You got grass on there?
While they're in the field, cadets eat army rations.
Oh. I think this has gone cold now, but you can just about live on them.
The thing I like most about being at this camp is being away from like the irritating things that go on at school and like TV, radio, being completely submerged in the countryside and not having any clue about what's going on in the world, and not worrying about that.
Better
than a bit.
Dancing glitter through the trees. I keep wanting to say field. No, it helps pull if you stood up. Oh, sorry. Okay, more air. Okay. From the top. Yeah. I'll try not to look at the way. Hark, I hear the foe advancing, forward steeds are proudly prancing, helmets in the sunbeams glancing, glitter through the trees.
It could be quite useful in case ever a war does break out, then which I hopefully it won't, but then you've got some boys from all our generation to actually know how to handle a weapon, so if ever Britain did get invaded, then it could kick ass.
The bullets may be blanks, but the lessons are well learned. Many boys from the Harrow Rifle Corps become commanding officers. Britain's former Chief of Defence Staff, General Sir Charles Guthrie, started his army training in the Harrow Corps, and 19 old Harrovians have been awarded the Victoria Cross.
I mean, this kind of situation really tests your own qualities, your own skills, and your leadership qualities most of all. I mean, I'm sure I've gained confidence in a leadership role hugely because of being in charge of these guys.
Back at school, the big night has arrived for Keith Metcalf. Before the evening is over, Keith will have to sing his solo version of the first verse of Men of Harlech. But he'll have to wait his turn. At camp, the boys prepare for their night out in the open. Masters and senior cadets patrol the area.
Very well camouflaged.
This is the first chance that they've got of discovering the other side of Corps that isn't based on the parade ground. There's a couple who are getting a bit cocky because they thought they knew it all, because they'd done drill and that was it. But night exercise suddenly opens up all these new opportunities and shows them another whole side of the Corps about which most of them know absolutely nothing.
Personal discipline, put it all inside, tucked underneath, out the way. If it pours the rain tonight, all this kit's going to get soaked.
Back at Drury's house, the first solo performances come from the new boys.
When you're out here, you know, there's the very real possibility of people getting lost. You know, some of these guys don't have a clue about how to set up a basher properly, how to cook. So we really are responsible for making sure that they survive the exercise.
That's lights out, heads down, no talking now. You'll be woken up at 5 o'clock. Get some sleep. Get your boots on. Drop your ponchos.
The Corps recruits are made to strike camp in the pouring rain.
Stretch. Make sure you've got all your kit.
And last but not least, Mr. Metcalf.
Hark, I hear the foe advancing, Barbers steeds are proudly prancing, helms, sunbeams glancing, glitter through.
I feel good to have done it. It's something that you have to do, and it is hard, and it is embarrassing, and you do get incredibly nervous. But once you've done it, you feel like you're in.
Follow on, follow on, follow on, follow on, follow on. Still the hills ring again and again with the tramp of the 22.